What's up, everybody?
Yo.
It's funny because Jaws was just telling me you can't hear the music, still managed to move and beat.
So I'm following you. I'm following you. Our internet's so good, man. I could just feel I'm right in the groove.
Yeah, you were still, that's fair. You were in sync. I was just like, hey, how's he? For a second, I was like, oh, you must be hearing it now. How's he in sync? I was in Europe last year, and actually, I was in Europe. Janessa and I were at a friend's wedding, and they were playing, like, I don't remember, some kind of weird Euro music. And Janessa and I look at each other, and she's just like, man, black people really will dance to anything. And we just both started dancing, like synchronized dancing to the music, and we just started laughing. So it just made me think of the fact that, like, you can't even hear the beat, but you see the rhythm, and you're like, I'm good. I got it.
I know there was a video of a black guy, I think at like an Indian cookout, and they're playing Indian music, and he's just there like two-step into it.
There you go. There you go.
Like, oh, I can rock out. I'm here. I'm here. And he was enjoying it too. I was like, that looks like some good food.
Yeah. These samosas and tandoori chana paratha. Shout outs to all the East Indians and the West Indians. Did you partake in the Olympics this year, my friend?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I enjoyed all the memes, all the actually really good sportsmanship that was actually going on.
Yeah.
All the shade that was thrown to people that weren't there on the team, if you know what I mean. They did not get invited to the team, and they had to stay home. And now they're talking about, hey, can you tell your fans to stop picking on me because I'm talking mad shit about you online? Please, like, stop. You ain't on the team. You're not here on the podiums with us.
Yep.
Shut up.
Keep my name out your mouth.
I saw a good one. Where I don't know if it could have been this year's, but I'm not sure. Something happened, and what's her name? Bile?
Simone Biles.
She looks at the camera and is like, if that camera hits me one more time, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna be talking to each other in the back.
No.
Like, you don't hear her say it. You just see her mouth moving, and it's clearly that's what she's saying.
The camera people were getting too close.
Something like she got hit with the camera. She's like, you hit me with that camera again, we're gonna be talking in the back. And I was like, woo.
Any human being that can do what is it, a 12-foot vertical? Like her vertical is like some insane number.
Yeah.
Like, she should be able to dunk, essentially. Anyone that could do that is someone you don't want to mess with, in my opinion.
Right.
Like Simone Biles, I would not mess with Simone Biles.
What else was there? So, there's a lot of good stuff. Seeing the Sesame Street there. The Sesame Street characters were there interacting with they're actually in Paris interacting with them, and they had their berets on and stuff like that. I think what was really cool was I was just scrolling through Facebook on my phone, and there was like Slimy, and he's in front of the Eiffel Tower kind of painting it. And I'm like, what? Slimy?
That's so cute.
And I showed it to my girl, and she was like, who's Slimy? I was like, oh, that's Oscar's pet worm. That's Slimy. Oh.
Slimy's been to space, y'all. Put some respect on Slimy's name.
Who's Slimy?
Awesome. Oh, no, Ness, you need to not.
Sesame Street, Oscar's pet worm.
Oh, sorry.
So
Slimy, orange and yellow worm.
Yeah.
Okay, you do know him. Okay,
and then the unofficial mascots of the Olympics: Snoop Dogg, Flavor Flav,
Snoop D-O-double-G. Yo, shout outs to Flavor Flav for supporting the women's water polo team. That was real cool. That was really cool.
And he was
say what?
He was like, one thing I like. He's there. He's there. He's playing the piano because he's actually he's trained in a bunch of other instruments and stuff.
Right.
And so he's just like playing, and he's got his like USA dress shirt.
Yep. Man, there was just so I had a really weird relationship with the Olympics this year because I had trouble separating some of the unfortunate things that are happening in the world with the kind of global patriotism, every country, everyone's celebrating. But I will say everything that Josh just said was a valid and beautiful reason to watch the Olympics, because if you guys know the history, the original idea behind the Olympics was to have moments of peace when there was a divide in the world back in ancient Greece. So as much as it was hard with the things going on, it was nice to see people unified whether or not for the flags are the symbol, but the people are unifying because of a joint and shared idea of pride in what they're doing. Like,
in the games themselves.
In the games themselves. Thank you.
In the spirit of competition.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I really liked. I almost wish that we could do away with the patriotic side of the Olympics and just have the best athletes win medals, and it just be them winning medals and not based on, because like I follow this Australian streaming service, Stan. For those who don't know, it's like Australia's Netflix. I follow them because they sometimes have new shows that we don't get over here that I like to find out and watch. And they had a medal count that they were doing every day. So every day when I would scroll through my IG, I would see their medal count. And it was that reminder, as much as it was cool to see that medal count, it was also a reminder that these people see it as a competition between these countries. Like the US was below China. They had more medals than China, but China had more gold medals. Yeah. And the US, you could see the US was like upset about it. And like every day every time I would see the medal count, you saw the US like, right underneath, and you see some comments, some of the few Americans who follow Stan being like, we should be number one. We have more medals, and people being like, gold is worth more. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh, like,
I mean, come on, you had your crazy stacked basketball team.
Yo.
Though my favorite picture is, what's his name? The tall French basketball player trying to block Steph, but the ball's already way behind him. Steph already released the ball.
Yeah.
The French commentators calling this devil Steph. We need to get the ball away from the devil Steph.
They called him that?
Apparently that was the rough translation.
That's so intense.
Did you see the crazy story? Supposedly they this is unrelated to the Olympics. His wife, it's Ayesha, right? Curry? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Ayesha Curry was with her family. They were trying to get from one section to another section while they were in France, but the police were blocking them. But she had the baby with her, but they didn't realize she had the baby, so they were like pressing and pushing against her, and like were like pressing against the baby, and she had to like tell them to stop. And Draymond Green was there, and he's yelling at people, and I was like, oh Lord. And it was a whole thing for 2 minutes, and some people thought
why were they blocking them?
There was something about access to a road, but their car was at the end of that road that was blocked, and they were trying to get to their car. But maybe there weren't signs, or more honestly, it's more likely that, hey, you have international athletes from all over the world and all your signs are in French. So there's a lot of people who didn't understand that this wasn't a parking area, or it was going to close at a certain time, or whatever the excuse. It led to an altercation. Thankfully, everyone's okay. The baby's okay. But I just remember seeing that video and seeing Draymond. Like, Draymond restraining himself is a very interesting thing to see.
Oh, he was.
Yes. If you watch the video, there's a part where he starts going, are we going to start apologizing for almost hurting a child? Like, he's being very respectful but firm. And I was just like, okay, Draymond. Like, I was like, that's good. That's good to see. I like it.
That's not Draymond like.
Right.
It was international Draymond. You have to remember that. There's home Draymond.
He's like, I'm not home.
Yeah. And then there's we got company. Oh, I'm out at company's place, Draymond. Yeah. Can't be acting a fool in somebody else's house. Doesn't
That's
look
true.
That
one of the reasons I brought up the Olympics, I had an ulterior motive, and I do apologize for doing this to y'all, but I brought it up because we all saw Raygun, the breakdancer. Rachel.
I was just watching it again.
I couldn't watch it. She started up and I just turned it right off. And my girl was like, "Why'd you turn it off? Why aren't you watching?" I was like, "I can't. It's painful. It's."
I just watched a clip actually on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show.
Oh, with Rachel Dratch.
That was good.
And she redid it. So it made me like go back to watch it, and too funny. Rachel
Dratch is pretty funny too when she's doing it, because she's like, "Come on, Jimmy, like get into it," and Jimmy's just
and then he gets into it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I brought it up because crazy development that just happened literally hours ago. today in Raygun News, U.S. Weekly reports that thousands of people have signed a Change.org petition accusing the Australian breakdancer, as well as AOC's Anne Mares, of unethical behavior. Yeah, in a letter addressed to the Prime Minister of Australia and the Australian Olympic Committee, Raygun, aka Rachel Gunn, is accused by critics of manipulating the Olympic selection process to her own advantage by setting up her own governing body for breakdancing and overlooking other qualified breakdancers.
I heard about this. And apparently her husband
was one of the judges.
Oh, the judge. Sorry.
Yeah. He was one of the judges on the selection committee, and everyone's like, well, doesn't that mean he shouldn't be judging if she's competing? They name drop some of the other breakdancing crews that were just as good, but supposedly didn't get any funding, so they couldn't attend the competitions, and people are calling them out for it. So
I just saw on Threads someone was like, please, before you start posting that girl again for the 50th time, let's take a look at the men's side and look at what that guy was doing, and that guy was actually good, and doing windmills and everything like that, spitting on his head and everything.
But no one's gonna talk about the good things. Everyone's gonna talk about the bad things.
Well, Canada won gold on the men's side.
Yeah, we did win gold, men's gold, which is pretty cool. And I had, because I'm having a conversation with one of my friends who used to live here in Montreal, but now is a backpacker. She travels the world. She's never in one place for more than a couple months at a time. But it was interesting because she was talking to me about the Olympics and asking me what's my take on the breakdancing thing. And I said, I'm a little disappointed that the main conversation surrounding breakdancing at the Olympics this year is someone who did poorly, and not the fact that there are tons of other athletes at their first Olympic competition who did amazing jobs. And she said, but at least people are talking about it. And I said, that's true. People are talking about breakdancing in a way. I don't know if people, because the people who are making fun of her and realizing that breakdancing was in the Olympics, I don't know that all of those people would have even paid attention to breakdancing at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which is what she was saying, which I get that point.
But it is the first time that it's in the Olympics. So it makes sense that everyone's going to have reservations about it. But also, they did announce that they weren't going to be in the Olympics in 2028.
Yeah. Make sense.
I know, LA.
Well, I think it just didn't do well.
Place. No, but I mean,
that is the perfect
you have
place.
It in LA, and then you just fly in all the rappers.
But maybe
to the event.
Maybe there's like a lot involved in like, I don't know exactly the process of the Olympics, but I feel like with Raygun's whole situation, maybe they were like, let's revisit this and see what we can do, because I feel like they weren't prepared. Maybe I don't know.
Something I've heard, another narrative I was hearing was that the Olympics wanted to have something that the young people can come and check out. But what originally was going on was the governing body of ballroom dancing wanted that to be in the Olympics, and the Olympics like
ballroom dancing.
Yeah, and they're like,
oh, that would have been a good idea.
But then the Olympics that's good, but that's so like
older.
No one's gonna watch that.
Older, yeah.
It's
ballroom dancing
way old.
Ballroom dancing is cool. But
Dancing with the Stars is still popular, and that's ballroom dancing.
Yeah, but Dancing with the Stars is popular on terrestrial television. Does it have a high streaming numbers?
That's true.
Yeah, because
I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
but
just a quick point: the median age for viewers on television is 50 plus. So that's not necessarily the audience that the Olympics is trying to aim at.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they might second guess going to ballroom. I do agree, though. You make a valid point. Dancing with the Stars is a very popular series right now,
but also because it's celebrities.
Yes,
that's the hook. That's the hook and so they were saying like, oh, we'll do ballroom, and they're like, but we want to skew younger, we want to get the cool kids, we want to get the Gen Zs, and it, imagine an older millennial or older
Gen Zs are not even interested in breakdance.
I was gonna say, I don't know if
that's what I mean. It's an older person. Oh, we need to get the kids in. So let's do breakdancing. So there must be some governing body for breakdancing, right? No. Breakdancing has no governing body. There's nothing there for that.
Yeah.
So
that's the sad part.
So I guess they shoved it onto some other group to kind of find and do it.
Yeah.
And so and you ended up getting what we got. I do kind of find it interesting with the, how they set up the everything, where it's like, okay, everybody does not hear the songs beforehand, so you cannot build a routine off the songs. You have to hear the song as it's playing and then go from there.
Right.
And
yeah, that's how you
wow
battle
the judges. So I was like, wow, okay, that
is
okay.
pretty cool.
That's how battles are normally. Like any dance cypher dance battle, that's usually how it is. You're not supposed to know the music.
Yeah.
But usually you kind of have a feel of what's going to be played, and then you can kind of go off. But like, just straight up, no, we can play old disco for you, or we can play 90s hip hop, or like, good luck.
Yeah.
I will just say, Jaws, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there is a governing body for breakdancing somewhere, but there's none that we are aware of.
Yeah.
Is more what I just want to clarify.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like at some point someone's going to get in the comments and be like, no, there's the blah, 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 something organization. I'm going to be like, I
know there's Red Bull. There's Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff,
right, yeah.
I don't know if that's a
governing... The thing
what
about...
There's groups that have been doing it and organizing things, so...
Well, I'm not in the dance scene anymore, but being a former dancer, I feel like the thing with breaking is it was always a street dance thing.
Right.
And I feel like bringing it in the Olympics is a little problematic because it kind of contradicts the point of street dance.
Because the amount of money you need to
even...
Well, that's one of the things.
The amount of money, but also I don't know. I didn't do research on what was being judged, like the techniques and whatever they were actually looking for. But it's just like, I feel like it's so hard to put it in the Olympics and have it be a successful thing because number one, I don't think the breakers that are I don't think the top breakers were there.
No,
I don't know.
Okay.
It depends. I don't think they would see it as a. I don't know. I'm not a breaker, but I feel like break is it's something that's been big in street dance, and to bring it to the Olympics is just another. It's like another form of.
I could see what you're saying though. The gymnastics, which I know it's not fair to compare, but I'm just comparing the idea of sports in the Olympics. Gymnastics, track, stuff like that, all have organizations, annual competitions, global rankings, and stuff like that. Breakdancing, as Jaws was saying before, and from what we are aware of, doesn't have that kind of structure behind it. And what Ness, you're saying is mostly because it is a street art and not something meant to be organized that way. Like, I would imagine any group that tried to organize breaking at one point probably came up against people in the breaking community like, we don't want to organize it or make it part of the machine. The whole point is to not be part of the machine.
Exactly. And then you get people like Raygun.
Yeah.
That game the machine.
Exactly, right? And then it makes the breaking community look stupid because it's like, this is the first time that breaking is in Olympics, and someone like Raygun has taken it out of the Olympics for everyone. PhD. Like she literally removed it. Like,
I know,
and on top of it, made it look like a joke when there's so many other amazing breakers that were in the Olympics. So it's just like, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
that was the major thing that really upset me about it. The fact that I didn't even think about it from the perspective both of you have brought up, but I just thought of it in the sense that we finally have this art form that's been, one of the elements of hip hop, breaking, graffiti, MCing, DJing. There's 5 elements.
Yeah.
The
graffiti,
4 elements: graffiti, breaking, MCing, and DJing. I feel like I'm missing one, but if I am, apologies. Yeah, apologies to the fans if I'm forgetting a 5th element of hip hop. I'm pretty sure those are the 4 that were the pillars of the community. And so for breaking to be one of those and then to be a part of the Olympics, that was something to me, especially when I kept thinking about, it's great that the Olympics is going to put shine on something that, some of the world's best dancers are probably break dancers, but would never be recognized as such because, again, they're not interested in trying to be part of the system or the machine.
That's what makes it problematic because breakdancing is not a uniform thing. It's a very
I always find it.
It's a very fluid thing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I find it interesting that we 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 feel like, okay, yeah, breakdancing, it could work, it can't work. Maybe you could just refigure it, because like you have stuff like BMX is in there. A lot of extreme game stuff are in there. So BMX,
they're adding
skateboarding, the skeleton, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get on a sled and put my face first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not to say that it can't be in the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like it makes it harder to figure out like what do you call it, a process for it, or it's like breakdance is it's the first time, so they're obviously like testing out the waters, they're trying things, but it's like breakdance is like the parkour of like kind of like you know how parkour, well, because you know how parkour is like kind of like gymnastics, but it's not like, it's like it's acrobatics, it's so that's like the street side of gymnastics, whereas breakdance is like the street side of dancing, so it's kind of hard to put that in something like the Olympics, which is so like uniform and organized and like I don't know.
Well, we say uniform and organized, but we keep hearing all the leaks about how disorganized and
well, you know what I mean, like how it looks,
like every system, it has hella flaws in it.
We want to be green
Definitely
this year,
flaws.
so no one in the Summer Olympics is going to get any air conditioning.
Thank you.
Every country, all around the world. Screw that. We sending down ACs.
Thank you, Jaws. I was going to bring that up because it is insane to me that the videos of athletes fighting insects in their rooms because and not being able to sleep because they have to leave the windows open because the Olympics village didn't have any air conditioning, so they're all melting and getting sick, heat exhaustion and all that crap. That's is crazy to me. I understand carbon footprints, but y'all had to figure something better out.
The weird, and then the weird flip side to that is that like the American athletes were like, wait, the healthcare is free here? We're just getting healthcare?
Yes.
We could just
go. Even visitors?
Even visitor, yeah. So if you're part of the Olympic, so if you an athlete, because you're the top athlete, blah blah blah, you get doctors, psychiatrists, all that stuff. You just get into the Olympics and then you're able to get doctors.
That's insane.
So I can't remember which female athlete, like she was like tweeting about it, or not tweeting about it, but she was like, live streaming or whatever. She was like, I went to go get a pap smear. I went to go get checked out by a doctor. I want to get everything I could get done.
She just made it like a medical, like free medical. Oh, wow. That's yeah. My ex-girlfriend is from France, and she regularly would tell me about how messed up our system is. And I was like, well, let's not pretend like France is perfect. She's just like, France is not perfect. There's a bunch of crap, but I'll tell you this. There are times where I was sick and you could call a number and a doctor showed up. You didn't have to go to a I was like, what?
And our rich are afraid of us because we'll do it again.
That's crazy.
Yo,
but I wonder if it's good.
Yes, reminder, if Jaws is facts, they will burn their cities down to make the point. Yeah.
And Marie Antoinette with her head, and she's singing opera while a metal band's playing on top of a yo, that went hard.
Yo, the opening ceremony, the fact that people kept thinking that the opening ceremony was the Passion of Christ, the Last Supper, and not like an image of Dionysus Greeks. I was like, guys, I was media literacy a little bit, folks, just a little bit.
I was telling my girl, like, oh my goodness, sometimes Christians just want everything to be about them, and usually it's nothing about them. But no one's after you. No one's trying to ruin your religion. Oh, well, they took out Christmas from my Starbucks cup. No, Starbucks is an international company. You know how much money it costs to print out Merry Christmas in multiple languages?
Exactly.
Just put one red cup, send it out.
Exactly.
And then all the older people that are going, it's like, so you have your little pension, right? I'm sure that pension has money in Starbucks. So what would happen if you were running the numbers and you said, why is Starbucks spending $5 million on cups? That's stupid. Get rid of that. Then they'll just put it to red. Then you'll complain. How come there's because we had to not translate all these cups and print them out and ship them out. Dude, just one cup, done.
These companies, when you find out some of the things, I was telling Ness the other day at work, how Air Canada took olives off, one olive less on their salads, and saved millions of dollars. Like, these companies are going to find a way to save a buck, and you need to be okay with that. And that just is what it is. I don't know how we got to capitalism again. That's how it always ends.
Because it always does.
Yeah,
you're talking about France, then you're talking about the opening ceremonies, then you're talking about off your heads, and then boom, capital.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's jump into the news, because we do the news at the top now before we get into the stuff we want to review. The Disney D23 session was crazy. There's just too much to discuss. But, you know, a bunch of the trailers were out. They announced that they're going to have Incredibles 3, which I know a lot of people are very excited for. Mandalorian and Grogu trailer was shown. They had a trailer for Andor Season 2. They had a trailer for Tron Ares. Toy Story 5 is in the works. Like, I can't go through everything. It's just too much. But those are some of the highlights. I want to give a shout out.
Thunderbolts trailer?
Yes, Thunderbolts trailer was shown. The Snow White trailer was shown to much negative reactions. I haven't heard a single positive reaction. I feel sorry for this girl because I don't remember her name now, but the lead actress in it, Zegler. Oh, what's her name?
Rachel
Zegler. Thank you. She's already gotten so much hate for just speaking up about how this is going to be a slightly different story, which I feel isn't crazy for her to say. It's 2024. Ness, hit me.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like she already has like a hate squad against her.
Yes.
Because not even just because of this, but also she got a lot of flack from West Side Story.
Right.
Oh.
But did she do
But not her personally. No, she didn't do anything. It's just because she's being casted for roles that I can't remember the whole story.
Okay.
But
for West Side Story, yeah, Rachel Zegler. But West Side Story, and even when she was in the Shazam 2, I just kept seeing a lot of angry people, and I didn't understand where this hate came from, because any of the stuff she was in before, they didn't seem mad at her. It seemed like there was a flip at some point. Jaws, you look like you're about to add something.
I think she's pretty much like the new Miss Marvel, basically.
Yeah, Brie Larson. Yeah,
Brie Larson is like the new Brie Larson. So from what I kind of remember,
wait, why?
Because like I think she was speaking up about something with Snow White. Like, oh, she's not going to be this damsel in distress, or she was talking about something like that, and then just the internet just came at her with a vengeance, like, oh, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, so that's what I had heard, and
that's my understanding of it. But
similarly, that was my understanding too. So I don't know if I'll try and find more stuff. The reason we don't know about this, folks, is because we don't like to listen to neckbeards. They're stupid, so it's hard to try.
I don't mess up. My Google algorithm is already messed up enough as it is. And my Twitter, all that stuff.
Yeah, so sometimes, and it's hard to take them seriously when they are angry about things like an actress explaining that she's going to do a different performance, or that their motivation behind the characters is going to be fleshed out more, because the film is being made in 2024 as opposed to a 1937 animated film. Like, come on, y'all are. let's be
and her motivation is like, oh, I'm pretty. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. It's just, that's it.
It's like almost 100 years ago that they did the animated film. You have to have it be different. She cannot be the same way she was 100 years ago.
To be very honest, none of the people that are complaining have even bothered to go back and watch Snow White. So, I mean, like, some people have kids, some people don't have kids. You know, sometimes you watch it once in a while. I don't think anyone's really rushing. That's why Disney's making it, because you're not watching that thing. You have it up on the streams. We see the stats. No one's watching it. Time to remake it.
That way you get the streams up and you get the movie money for when it's in theaters. You already own your IP, and if anything, because of I mean, Snow White is in the public domain, but their version of Snow White, the specific characters and all that stuff, were also in the public domain soon, because at least they should have been, like Happy, the dwarves. So who knows why they're re-upping on this, but they're doing it. And just like how Netflix tries to license movies, the prequels to movies that are going to be in theaters, like, if anything, Netflix probably got Twister for the fact that Twisters is in theaters.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the game at this point. You're trying to make your money, but you are going to try and make the story a little bit different, especially if it's 100 years old. So,
and also you already have Mirror Mirror, you already have Snow White and the Huntsman and the Huntsman 2. Like, people have already been putting out other Snow White stuff. What was that other one? What was the one on ABC? With Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time. Sorry, I was gonna say Happy Ever.
You got all that coming, you know?
Yeah. Also, Skeleton Crew with Jude Law as a Jedi. We got a trailer for that, which is more Star Wars. Hopefully, people are excited. And Avatar. Say what? Sorry.
Like a kid's adventure kind of thing.
Yes. Sorry. It's some people have said like John Hughes-ish. Like it's a coming of age story set in the Star Wars universe, which I think is really cool because
and something they've never explored before. Yay! Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say I 100% agree. I like the idea that it's gonna be kids going on an adventure, doing something fun, something different.
Other Star Wars thing, the Lego one.
Oh yes, the flipped universe. Yeah, Lego is doing Lego Star Wars is doing a mirror universe type story where Luke Skywalker is a surfer boy, Darth Vader is good, Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord,
which was that weird fan theory that everyone was thinking about after like, oh wait, maybe we should have let George continue, maybe we should have let him cook. Maybe we're too much. Come back, George. No.
I hate that theory so much because actually I do hate the theory. I hate the fact that they're giving it even more credence now with this like alternate universe thing, because everyone I know who loves Jar Jar, and you know who you are, has been like in my DMs celebrating that Darth Jar Jar is coming, and I'm like,
well,
no.
I know that the actor that played Jar Jar, like he's already had his arc. Like, I think they brought him back to do
he's actually a Jedi in something,
a quiz show or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so like he's already made peace with it and everything, and people are way nicer to him about it. And so
he went through a lot, but thankfully things should be better now. So kudos to everyone who got to go to D23. There's a lot of crazy stuff there. Hopefully people really
live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, sorry.
Have more in there.
Yeah. A lot the people, first image too. People were really excited about it.
Well, it's funny.
It looks really good.
I think Stitch still sells a lot of merch, and like Disney knows that. It's like, oh, you came to our store, you couldn't find it, find them online. But sorry, hey, we don't have anything. But
plus, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know all of Disney's history, but I feel like Lilo and Stitch was one of the first like minority kid stories.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, maybe not the first, but I feel like it was one of the early.
It was one of their more original. Like, I think usually they do, like, hey, we're gonna retell this story that's in public domain, or kind of rip off something else. And this was like probably one of the few times where they had an original character, an original story, and it wasn't
like a white kid. Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see Lilo ground and pound the girl at the start of the movie. You're crazy. Bah, 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 bah.
I'm guessing.
I'm so excited.
I'm guessing they're gonna edit some of that stuff differently.
Yeah, probably. I don't think it's gonna be exactly the same.
Watch her shoot. Watch her right to the ground. I want to see it.
And also, did you guys hear they announced to the Toy Story 6?
The 5.
I think
so
it
it's
is
5.
5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Toy Story 5
with the broken Buzz Lightyears.
Yes, it's gonna be toys versus technology.
Oh, of course.
Apparently.
I mean, yeah. So if you guys want it, D23 Polygon, they have a really good breakdown of everything that was there. So, Avatar, Fire and Ash, it's all there. Fantastic Four, First Step, info, updates, even more clips, supposedly, which I don't even know how that's possible. They just started filming. It must have been just images of the rushes. But yeah, it's there. So people go check it out. And I think that's, we had some other stuff in the news. Yes. The Gentleman renewed for season 2 at Netflix. Also, so is Supercell, which I talked about on the show. Supercell got a second season approved. So shout outs to them. People are really excited for that series. And then in unfortunate news, Rachel Lillis. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Rachel Lillis, Pokemon star who voiced Misty and Jessie from Team Rocket,
and some other anime stuff as well.
Okay, has passed away at the age of 55. We were all very excited to hear that. 55 is unfortunately quite young.
That's from cancer, right?
Yeah. Our condolences to the family and to all the fans in the world. I know Boss Logic had made I'll try and see if I can find it. Boss Logic, who is famous for doing the kind of like really cool fan art, did a piece remembering. And did I find it? Yes, I found it. Ensure this tab, ensure that image. So he did a really beautiful picture that I'm gonna show right now. At least I'm trying to.
And it's not helping. It's not doing you any favors.
I know. Yeah.
Oh no, Togepi.
Yeah. Oh, sorry guys. I meant to put all of this there.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, he made this piece. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the reflection is Missy.
Yeah.
In the water.
So it's basically Togepi holding I guess a picture of Misty.
Yeah.
And then in his puddle of tears is Misty holding him.
Yeah, the reflection. Yeah, it's really man. Whenever they make art like that, like when the who is it that passed away from for Dragon Balls, and all the art was like
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, dude. There was some of those pieces that had me like close to tears because they really like every anime, every fan, every single person who could do decent, even some weird looking art. They all said pen to paper, we are giving a nod to this hero of ours, and came up with some beautiful stuff. So, this image
very influential.
Yeah. So, it's always hard when the anime community loses people, because you can tell that it's sometimes when I see anime fans and like a loss in that community, it hits me that, our fandoms here in North America ain't shit compared to the global scale of like some of the anime stuff.
Like you just have to go south, like to South America, and they are hardcore. Like I remember that there was like before he passed away, there was a joke about how you could be caught by the Mexican cartel and they're about to kill you, and you're like, please don't kill him, please don't kill him. It's like, nah, we gotta kill him. It's like, what would Goku think? And they're like, oh no, what am I doing with my life?
That is wild. That is such a crazy thought, to be like, the cartel might not kill you if you love the same anime. But
if
crazy
if Akira Toriyama was kidnapped, the cartel would go and save him.
Yo, yeah.
They're like, nah, we need to know what's gonna happen next. Nah,
I can see that.
No one's messing with him like that.
I could see that. I could see a world where
together.
Yeah. So that's all the news that we have at the top of the show. If you guys want more news stuff, you can always check out our socials. We're posting a lot more clips. If you guys follow us on YouTube, make sure to check out youtube.com/freeXagents, FXA Media. Sorry. And or you can always check us out on Twitch. And more importantly, you can just check out GeekCypha.com, GeekCypha. Jaws, I see you have something here on your list. The full story of Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, a 3-hour documentary.
Boy.
It was so good. So there's a YouTuber named FD Signifier, black YouTuber. Yeah. And he has a documentary out that came out maybe last week or so called I'm What the Culture Feelin', the full story of Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. And it's a 3-hour documentary just breaking down everything that's what is hip hop, because he knows he has a lot of younger people watching. So he's got to explain that, there's, people have beefs or people have rivalries, and, you get together and then you battle it out. And then once you're done battling, okay, the other guy won. And then you make your peace and you break out. So he talks about that. He talks about how gangster rap died basically when Kanye West came and moved his album ahead to battle with 50 Cent's Massacre, right? 808s and Heartaches versus Massacre, and 808 and Heartaches really, really handsomely beat 50 Cent's album, and then all of a sudden it changed. Like all of a sudden more conscious rap was more mainstream and everything. you didn't need the tastemakers and the gatekeepers anymore that were kind of holding everything back and say, okay, yeah, you can go, kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
So like he really breaks it down and you know, he even talks about how
I didn't expect him to go that far back if he's talking Kendrick and Drake, but
yeah, so then
so
he talks about that so you can get a better idea of where Drake comes from, because that's there. And he also talks about, okay, well, you know, if you think about it, Drake social economically was lower than Kanye. Kanye's both parents were professors, and he was going to a private school, and he learned how to play piano. He was painting, but he preferred to do hip hop stuff, and so he would go to music school, and he didn't really have to interact with like the rough side of Chicago, but he's still around black people and, you know, all part of that. While Drake, he's always jumping from, you know,
okay, so Kanye was a bit more sheltered, you're saying.
Yeah, but he still kind of grew up around black people. And with Drake, you know, because he's biracial, sometimes some people would say like, oh, well, you're not a part of us over here. And then he'll go to the other rich side when his mom moved, and he's like, oh no, you don't belong with us over here. So he was always trying to fit in, and no one ever kind of wanted him. So like he really goes into everything, and then he starts breaking down, okay, this is where Kendrick and Drake meet, and probably from there, that's where the beef starts simmering. And like,
but is this like a conspiracy theory, or like where is he getting his?
He's getting his information, like, you know, he's obviously like, you know, everyone has to get it off the internet, but it's like he's finding clips of people talking about what's going on, and you know,
like he's doing deep dive research.
Yeah, he's actually doing the research. Like you could find like,
but is it like opinion based about like what happened, or is it
no, it's not opinion based. Not like he'll do a sidebar and do his opinions and then come back to
the actual so he's kind of just telling you all the events that happened.
Yeah.
And how it led to that.
I've seen some of his stuff. I would say, because Ness, I think I understand what you mean. Is he including the people he's talking about? No. Like Kendrick's camp and Drake's camp aren't involved with this.
No,
but he is still able to find enough of the information, because as public figures, they both have been just talking about their own shit for so long.
Yeah,
that it's not hard to find some of this stuff.
And it's also super, and you know, like when you have a movie, like, you know, like the movie Amy Winehouse, and it's like, oh, look at all these old home movies and stuff, and it feels like when it's the next big person that passes away and you do a movie like that, you just have to go to their YouTube channel, you just have to go to their Twitter profile, their Facebook, and you can just scrape.
You could compile your own, especially with AI, folks. It's Jaws. You just made such a crazy, interesting point. But the next time, when AI gets to be as good as it is, because they've been releasing more and more AI tools and AI video and AI like cleaner images. When they get to a point where you're going to be able to scrape someone's social media, like a celebrity's social media, and all the posts about them, throw that into AI and be like, okay, we need to make a movie about their life. Chronologically sort this and create scenes based on these images. And Bob's your uncle. We're going to have a movie in theaters.
You know, so, you know, it's not like you have to go through some gatekeeper, like, hey, I need all your videos that you have on this. Like, you know, you're finding articles that were written. You're finding videos that they put up on wherever here and there. So he's just going through the whole thing. And then he goes through the actual beef part. And what's really crazy with the beef part is that he breaks down the part where I think Family Matters came out.
Right.
And then was it Meet the Grams was immediately after that?
Right after. Yeah.
And so he's talking about, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but he's talking about when him and his wife went out to dinner, Family Matters had dropped.
Right.
And he's at a fancy place trying to hear the song, and then we're going to listen to it on the ride home, and then he did that, and then they get home, they're relaxing, and then meet the Grams, and you're like, wait, what? And then and then he's putting clips of streamers going nuts, or other streamers talking about, oh, Drake says he's going to drop this new song, so stay up, everybody, on the stream, blah 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 blah, and he's explaining this guy that this streamer he's talking to is like the top urban black streamer guy. I can't remember the dude's name.
Academics?
No, not Academics.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Kai Cenat?
Huh?
Kai Cenat?
I think so, yeah. He's like, Drake just texted me. Just don't go off the stream. Da, 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 da. And then he also talks about academics. And he's like, oh, academics is just holding the water bucket for Drake all day, every day. So like, and you know, he's like about like maybe your age, Brian, maybe a little bit older. So he knows. Okay. So he's like, he's kind of like a lot of, I've noticed that a lot of the internet content I consume is a lot of it is older kid explains stuff to younger kids. That's what the internet is kind of like right now. The older kids explaining stuff to the younger kids.
It's funny that you say that. I feel like that's what the older internet was when we were kids. Like it was just
I think that's always what it's been.
Yeah, it's like someone slightly older is explaining something.
Oh, well, this is what happened in my day.
And yeah,
exactly. Like, this is my experience. Yeah.
And so it was really good. And then he has a second channel called Signified B-Sides. And then he has like a 30-minute video of 7 hot takes I had to leave out from my Drake video.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and the conclusion he comes to the whole thing is really, really good because it's like, you know, he talks about the reaction of everybody after listening to Meet the Grams, and everyone just felt gross and dirty and just like, this is not fun anymore. I don't want this beef. Ugh. You know, just uncomfortable and just and he has like I think at the end of his B-side one, he just says like his hot take of that is someone technically he doesn't feel that they're the real villain and he feels bad for them. And then his other person's a goddamn like super villain mastermind, like Jesus, like, ooh.
Yeah, they definitely played up Kendrick as the boogeyman because that's been a conversation in hip hop for a minute that most people would not want to take on Kendrick Lamar because of how talented he is as a lyricist, a writer, and just as a performer. So for him to go up against Drake, who, again, I don't trust Drake's pen. I've said that before on this podcast. I know Skinny's not here, and shout outs to Toby from when he was here back in the day, but they would always rag on me for hating on Drake's pen. But I said I did that because the conversations were there was a lot of ghostwriting happening, and Kendrick on the other side, the man won awards for being one of the best poets of our generation. So, you know, when it comes to that side of it,
FD's definitely in the camp of, you know, I'm not a fan of Drake, but like he does like give points to Drake on certain points that he makes.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know, and
even I gave Drake points. Like when
oh no. Oh no. He dropped out.
Damn.
He's getting to the juice and then he dropped
He's talking about Drake and somebody chopped him.
Oh no, it's happening. Have you heard what's going on right now where people associated with Kendrick Lamar are trying to do shows in Toronto and they mysteriously get canceled?
No way.
Like, or they're getting blocked or something. Apparently.
Oh
that's
my gosh.
That's the new...
It's getting out of hand now. But I agree with Brian that, well, I mean, I agree with you saying, with what you were saying, that Drake did, you know, he swung a few punches.
Yeah.
I feel like we can't deny that. But lyrically speaking,
well, there's like, I think there was some points in the second video that he did where he's like, you know, there's a lot, you know, like even though he was trying to find something to like diss Kendrick about, like there's this whole section here that you could have like you kind of touched it, but you didn't go all the way. Probably because again, like Kendrick can be kind of Hotep adjacent, and he could have picked on him for that because he had that line where it's like Kendrick is rapping like he's trying to free slaves and stuff like that, and he could have gone more into that, but he doesn't. So it's like almost like, do you even know about Hoteps? Do you even know about the Black Israelites? Do you even?
But I guess because he wanted to shed more light on the whole, like, on the bigger, like, kind of like how he started saying he beats on his woman and like all these things. Like, I feel like he wanted to shoot more of those types of jabs to directly get at him instead of just like, oh, you know, you rap like you're trying to free the slaves, like.
But one thing I thought was really cool too was FD points you to another YouTuber called Lil Bill, and Lil Bill has a video talking about beefs, rap beefs, and like battle rapping and stuff. And normally it's not about exposing someone's discretions.
Dirty laundry.
That only really happened because Pusha T and Drake kind of said Pusha T's wife, and Pusha T never talks about his personal life, talks about his wife. He doesn't put his wife in his, and most
I think
don't do that
it went too far, but
and so then Pusha was like, all right, let's do this. So I think now people kind of feel beefs are literally that now, and they're not. It's usually about who has the better pen, who could finesse
exactly,
this.
or at least that's what it used to be, and now it's just like, now it's like, here, let me air out your dirty laundry for the world to know.
Hey, welcome
every
back.
bad thing you did.
It was so weird.
Damn, what happened?
It was so weird. So it's my internet, I guess, because it said that I got disconnected. I came back into the room. You guys both weren't there. I was on the screen by myself. It said we were still streaming. I started talking and like talking by myself for a minute.
You were still talking though.
Exactly. So I was just like, then it.
So was it you or us on the screen?
No, you were on the screen because I went back and checked on the YouTube. I did see you guys were talking about the Hotep energy and all that stuff. And my take with hip hop is everything is fair game, freedom of speech. But as we've said on this show in the past, you're not free of the repercussions of what you say. So if you're going to go, if you're going to go as hard as you do, be ready for people to call out all the dirty laundry, all the things you've ever done, do all the deep dives. And the thing I was about to say before I got cut off, the reason I give Drake some points is when Drake supposedly tricked Kendrick into talking about a daughter he didn't have. I know some people thought that was ridiculous and like you're playing dirty. Like that's a whole nother level of playing dirty because you're creating a fake child and spreading rumors. But it's like, Mom, I'm spreading a rumor about myself and you're latching onto it. And on top of that, if it's not a rumor, if it's true that he has another child, but he played it as a rumor because he comes out and says you latched onto the rumor, then he also covers himself. If Drake is that smart or if his team is that good, I'll give him points for that because that was an impressive move. Whether or not I think this was a good idea to have this war, that's a whole other conversation. Do you guys think Drake dropping 100 gigs of content happens if the internet isn't joking about him being pedo? Because he dropped 100 gigs recently of content, like unreleased music and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Do you think he would have done that if he wasn't in a situation where the conversation attached to his name was you act inappropriate with underage people?
It seems like for the majority of it, of what's been happening recently, if you're not making the hits, you're donezo.
Interesting, yeah.
We got you. You're done.
Yeah.
I think he probably would still be dropping.
But
I mean,
at once?
That's what I was going to say. Maybe he's doing more to distract people from the fact that all of this shit happened. So maybe it's like exactly. It's just a distraction. Yeah. And I won't lie, like some of the songs are good. Like I've heard them.
Well, that's it, right? It's so funny you say that because that's the thing I've been hearing a lot of people saying. Like,
that's weird.
Tracks are really good.
I feel
they are good. Yeah.
I feel that's weird because I mean he's had like 5 albums out recently since, and like maybe every album has 50 like the last 30 tracks on them, and it's like a lot of filler.
Yeah, but that's Drake now. Like,
but it's just no. But you know what I mean? I'm like, he dropped 100 gigs. Oh, this is actually good. Wait, where was that before?
Yeah.
Why wasn't that over there?
Like, do you need because take like what Jaws is saying? How many albums has Drake dropped in the span of 10 years? Because there's some people who have dropped 3 albums in 10 years, one every 3 years, 2, and then a big gap. And then you have him in 10 years. I feel like Drake. Let's look at it. Drake.
But that's how you stay at the top. He's doing what a pop artist does, and a pop artist to stay relevant needs to continuously drop music. If you're not dropping music all the time, you're gonna just die out like the rest of them. So like Taylor Swift too in the last 10 years has dropped a million fucking songs.
But it feels like people resonate with those songs. I don't know. It just feels like there's just.
But it's the same thing with Drake. It's the same thing with Drake.
Taylor, like what?
But it's the same thing with Drake. Drake he makes relatable music, and not only relatable, but he's versatile in the type of music he makes. So he makes his music accessible to everyone. That's what makes him so successful in pop, is that everyone likes his music. It's not just like one genre.
Right. One thing I'll say about
he's dropped 6 albums in 11 years. 1, 2, 3,
I think 5 of those albums were between the gap of Kendrick's last 2 albums. Because Kendrick was like gone for a bit, and Drake already had dropped 5 albums in between the time.
Not 5, but
not 3. That much, but
3. That's a lot.
He's dropped an album a year since 2021.
Jesus, he's like Ubisoft.
But that's what an artist with Ghostwriters does.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. There it is.
It's true.
That's what I mean. It doesn't make sense.
If you think about it, the artists who really like take the time to make like quality music and
you know what?
And want those people take time to drop music. Like Frank Ocean, like Childish Gambino, like
I was
Kendrick Lamar,
like Michael Jackson. He ain't putting out anything unless he feels everything is good and perfect.
And that's when you know that the artist,
because
he's
trying to get out of a contract, or he's independent, and he's just like, I feel this mood to be in this mode now, so this is how I'm rolling, you know.
Yeah, Ness,
and that's when you know that the artist is actually working in the studio and creating their own music, and they don't have. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, there's probably a lot of artists that have ghostwriters.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the ones who are dropping albums every single year, they likely have ghostwriters.
You know what? Okay, you've made such a fantastic point, because at the end of the day, I remember when I was in high school, we had a teacher who was this really nice teacher, but for some reason, he rewarded you the more you wrote, not what you wrote. So if you were supposed to write an assignment and you wrote 5 pages, he would give you a higher grade than if you wrote 2 good pages. And I remember he unfortunately got sick. I mean, he was probably a bad teacher, but he was a great person. He unfortunately got sick, and the teacher that took over for the rest of the semester, when he came in, he was just like, nothing to go. So that's not how we're doing it. Y'all are gonna have to learn how to write properly in
quality work.
Quality over quantity. And that just makes me think Kendrick, if it's possible Kendrick just hates on Drake because it's just like, my dude, quality over quantity. Like,
exactly.
You can't release 3 albums in 4 years with like 40 songs on each album, and only 5 songs on each album is actually worth your time.
But it depends on your goal as an artist. If your goal as an artist is to be the biggest pop star, Drake's on the right track.
And again,
if his goal is to create quality art and music, he's not going in the right direction.
Again, like all that stuff is like looked at
Skinny's gonna
in
be
that
so mad,
which is crazy. A lot of that stuff is looked at very, very like this. I remember there was like a video I kept seeing kind of coming up with 50 Cent talking about Kendrick, and he's like, that guy, man, like, and you know, 50 has his way about talking about people, but he doesn't diss him or anything. He says Kendrick is really good at making you think he doesn't know what's going on. He's very well aware of what's going on, and he also knows how to plan things to make it seem like he doesn't know. He's like, oh man, you know, he's like, you knew this was gonna happen. You and I don't know when 50 was talking about that. I don't know if he's talking about it because of the beef that happened, or it was before that, or it was when he was on the Super Bowl with him. Like, I don't know where to place that conversation, but 50 was like, this guy, you got to be careful with him. And even there's like another video of Eminem saying like he would never ever want to get into a rap battle with Kendrick because Kendrick switches up his flow, he switches up his voice. He has so many voices, so many flow. Like he just like up down, and he's like,
his
I can't.
Wordplay though, he's
like I can't.
He's
like
good at
he's like,
I
would never mess with a guy like that. Just Kung Fu Kenny, and then talking inner head, and then angry Kendrick yelling at his girl all over, like just like. That's what we were saying.
Yeah, that's literally what I said.
Oh, you said okay.
The current thing that I was saying, the current thing apparently that's going on that I've been reading is that whenever an act that's associated with Kendrick comes to Toronto, the whole thing gets shut down, and they can't get in or some.
And then when your internet dropped, I was like, Brian was hating on Drake, and they chopped his internet.
It's funny because I have fam that's OVO affiliated, and I'm always just like, I honestly didn't.
But nothing's wrong with that.
No, I know. It's just I genuinely didn't post certain things because I didn't want it to reflect on my cousin. Because I was like, if ever there's like a deep dive, like in politics when you hear, and I know no one cares what I'm posting. And I get that. But in politics, there's always that, if someone runs for president, they do that deep dive. And in my head, I was just like, if these people start...
what if?
Yeah, if these people start looking into who's doing what in the crew and starts looking at connections and who's following who. And meanwhile, I
get it.
Saying things like Drake has a lot of ghostwriters. Or, you know what? Instead of using ghostwriters, let's use the word... That's common
knowledge, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's use the word that Pop uses. He has writers because he's a pop artist. And that's just what it is now. As much as we want to pretend that it's rap, hopefully he doesn't pretend that it's only rap, because it's not only rap that he's doing.
No, I think...
But
no.
You're a pop artist and you have writers who help you write. And unfortunately, hip-hop doesn't recognize that as a valid way of creating in rap. So
it's just not how... anything in art, it's just not how it works. You're not constantly inspired to create. That's just not how it works.
Can we take a second to acknowledge the idea that if he doesn't have a ghostwriter, it would mean that Drake is one of the most prolific writers in the, you made 3 to 4 albums worth of stuff in 3-4 years. I'm sorry. DMX,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't make sense. Even if people didn't want to believe it or didn't want to or want to back up Drake and say that he writes his music or whatever, it's it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's not how it works.
He's no Ryan Leslie.
And every artist who has an art who is gonna take breaks. They're gonna have pauses or a long time of uninspired time where they're not creating. That's normal.
Yeah. Agreed.
So Drake dropping an album every year.
Also, he dropped 2 albums in 2022 because he also dropped in 2022 he wrote Honestly Nevermind, but then he also dropped Her Loss with 21 Savage.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then he has an album coming out this year, Hometown Love with Party Next Door. So he will have some form of an album every year for 4 years straight.
It's too much.
Crazy.
But I respect it, honestly. Drake I respect the hustle of what he's doing as a pop artist. I think it's still a hustle. Same thing as Taylor Swift. I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't like her music, but I respect what she's doing. She's consistently been at the top for the past is it going to be 20 years?
Yeah. Christ.
Wow.
Maybe 15 years?
I want to say I don't
15.
Know.
But... I don't know, because how old is she now? She's probably in her 30s now.
Yeah,
and
but
I think she's been singing since she was a teenager.
Yeah, but she wasn't Taylor Swift when she was 13. When she was the country singer.
Obviously. I'm just saying she's been making music forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's been making music
consistently at the top for a very long time.
Yeah. So... I would say that there's a problem with the system because the same people are always at the top, and it's a perpetual feeding machine.
But is it a problem with the system, or is it a problem with the people?
No, actually, I can factually explain it's a problem with the system.
Okay.
Nah, The system's working just right.
Yeah. Oz is right. The system is working the way the labels want the system to work. But the problem with the system is that when you have someone like Drake, Taylor, and all these people making deals with Apple, Spotify, and stuff like that, being featured at the top of the platform and being pushed, then they get more spins, which puts them back on top again. And it's a cycle. Yeah. Because also between us and a wall, I say this as on a podcast
on the internet,
but payola still exists in the industry. It's not the same as it used to be, but now they have things called radio consultants, and a radio consultant or a music consultant or a streaming consultant is the person that helps lobby for your song to be featured on certain playlists and to be featured on the front page and to be featured on the splash and to be featured on YouTube Music and Apple Music. And you pay this person, and I've been told by reliable sources, because I work in that industry, that if you want to be in the top 40, you're paying somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million for these firms that work on your behalf to just hustle and push your stuff, so that you end up being the thing that people see, and then you start, and then the cycle continues.
I wish I was the person that was probably working as a lobbyist in Congress and then figured I could probably do this with the music industry. I could probably do the exact same model for the music industry.
Yeah. So, if you
when you're remember when you're listening to Funkmaster Flex and he's complaining about playing $1 Million Baby, he's got to play it or that's his job.
Yeah. If you are a fan of these artists, a true fan, by all means, enjoy their music. If you are a fair weather fan and you notice that you're just always listening to their music, that's probably the algorithm. The Spotify daily playlist that is generated for each person, which is another way, because that's another payola thing. Because if you listen to Drake's album and then the next day the playlist features a bunch of Drake's other tracks, that's not shocking, because the algorithm thinks, oh, you listen to this album, so this is the playlist we'll make for you. And then that's just more spins for him. And then that keeps him on top. And it's the same thing with Taylor. And it's the same thing with, nowadays, like Post Malone. And who are some of the other people that I've noticed the cycle just continues with them over and over? I mean, Drake, Beyonce, and Taylor are probably at the top 3 if we're thinking of like the holy trinity of pop music right now. Yeah, if I was to say the holy trinity of pop music right now,
but I don't know. Country is
country's on an uptick. It's on an upswing.
Country's doing well. Don't get me wrong.
Beyonce just dropped a country album and brought a bunch of black country artists with her.
100%. Ness, were you there when I had the conversation? And maybe I've mentioned it on here before, but I've talked about the undercurrent style in pop and how it changes every couple of years.
Oh yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was trap music. Everyone's doing trap, and then now I guess
now it's country.
Country is the style now.
It was like, trap and Latino music, because that was the big
reggaeton. And
it used to be Afro.
And it was hip hop before that, and so we're in the country era. If you want to call it that, and
everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
Shabuzi, and you know how you can tell what genre is the undercurrent genre? Look at how many remixes they make of a single.
Right.
That's how you can tell when all the like David Guetta and Avicii and all these like pop DJ remixers are making remixes of your stuff. You're the current style. So when it was reggaeton, when it was reggaeton, they were all doing it. When it was hip hop, they were all doing it. And then when it was trap, they were doing it. And now when you look at it, Shabuzi has 5 remixes. Taylor Swift, the slow song that Fortnite that she has like 3 high tempo remixes. And I'm like, these songs aren't even that kind of energy, but you guys are making these remixes, and that's it. They're just making the remixes. And it's like, all right. That's the style right now.
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that something happens in pop, that it changes a little bit, because ultimately it's
pop's been like this. Like I don't think it's gonna change. It's
I mean, it used to have more turnover in the top of the charts, though. I know Madonna.
Yeah, but I feel like Gen Z is, I don't know, I feel like Gen Z is the type of generation that like they latch onto something, and when they latch onto it, they ride the wave until
they do ride hard.
They ride really hard, but it's like what do you call it? It's a phase.
Yeah, fair weather fans. Yeah,
Gen Z is I feel like they're huge on phases where they latch onto something that they really like, and then they have a phase of it for a few months, and then they're on to the next thing. Like it's like constant phases, and they lose interest so quickly. Their attention span is so short, so it's like it switches a lot.
Generation.
I mean,
exactly.
I know back in the day people would complain, oh, this the MTV generation, all they care about is what's on TV and and so whatever new technology comes out, our attention span gets shorter and shorter because it's always trying to keep us.
Yeah, of course. And the older you get, the more you're gonna like. There's always gonna be something to complain about, but
true. But no, but I'm saying like it's just this Generation Z, like they grew up with TikTok and stuff like that, so that's all they kind of know. They don't know about
all they know is short like content.
Yeah,
but
I'm in this phase and I'm in that phase. Like what was it called? Cottagecore. I'm in cottagecore right now. Oh no, screw that. I'm on this core and that core and just wait, new thing.
I think my favorite. I think my favorite part of this is, and the best example, Ness, that we can look at is Brat Summer, which is essentially just Hot Girl Summer retitled, right?
No.
What's the difference?
I don't know the difference. I'm old.
What's the difference?
Hold on a second.
Because I've heard people describe both, and they've said the exact same thing.
No, so Hot Girl Summer is, I think that started with.
It's Megan Thee Stallion, 2019. Yeah.
Oh, it was Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion, 2019.
So I guess it was because of Megan Thee Stallion and her way of saying I'm a bad bitch type of thing.
Right.
Brat Summer is because Charli XCX dropped an album called Brat.
No, I know.
And the album is so popular that it created this like cult following, which is why everyone is going on about Brat Summer.
But when you ask somebody what is Brat Summer, like define Brat Summer,
it's not the same thing as Hot Girl Summer.
But what's the definition then? Because both definitions I've heard from people online has been the same thing. That's why I'm asking.
Oh well, I don't know about online, but in my opinion, Hot Girl Summer is like you're feeling confident in yourself. Like it's like you're being. It's like do you and don't give a fuck about what anyone else thinks type of thing.
Okay.
And Brat Summer is like I'm gonna be a brat. Like I want to be. Like I'm gonna be bad.
I was hearing
and I don't care. Like it's like that.
So it's funny what you just said, because you just described Hot Girl Summer as being bad and not giving a fuck.
No. I didn't say being bad.
Well, okay. What did
Hot Girl Summer is like you're in your confidence era. You're like I'm hot. I'm doing me. I don't care what anyone thinks. Brat Summer is like I'm gonna be a bad girl.
But then the last thing of what you said for Brat Summer
was, I want to stir shit up. That's what.
But then you also said I don't care what other people think, because that's what you said for both. Because that's the thing. That's the
common they're both I don't care.
That's it.
But one means that you're like confident and whatever, and the other one means I want to be a brat. Like I'm gonna stir the pot. That's what it means.
I think from what I've heard is that I think her current album is more nostalgic. Like she's kind of looking back, like, oh, I remember that song I did before and all that kind of. So it's like Hot Girl Summer's more like I'm being a bad bitch now in the now. I am confident here now.
I would say Charli XCX's album is not nostalgic. That's me.
It's not nostalgic.
But I've heard the theme is like not nostalgic, but like, oh man, I used to do stuff and I wish I can there's some parts of it like that.
So the thing about Brat Summer is because her album is a club album. That's what everyone's calling it. It's like a club album.
Yeah,
it's a type of album. Yeah, it's a type of album. You go out, you take drugs, you go clubbing. Like that's why it's Brat Summer. Exactly. It's like I want to be a bad girl tonight. Not I want to be my best. Like it's not because Hot Girl Summer for me, what I understood was it's your time to like, you're in the gym, you're at the beach, you're trying to be your best self, but in a,
I don't know. I'm just saying, the thing I heard for Hot Girl Summer, even if all those factors were included, it was a confidence factor of I'm the best, I'm the shit, I run this, and I don't care what people say.
It's a confidence boost.
And then when I've spoken, and then when I've not spoken, when I've seen people describe Brat Summer, they're saying it's my game, I run shit, and no one can stop me. It's
exactly,
just the same energy.
No, Brian. Think about it like this.
Like,
think about it like this. Do you know what being a brat is, right?
Yes, I know what being a brat is.
So it's different because Hot Girl Summer is like, yeah, you're the shit, do me. But being a brat is like you're purposely stirring the pot. You want to do some bad shit. You wanna graffiti on the wall. You wanna hit a car. Like, it's that type of energy. It's a different energy.
Like,
no, I get that the energy, the outcome of the energy is different. One is disruptive and one is focused on yourself. Those are the two sides of it. Ultimately, though, the main point is you don't have to care about anything else. You care only about what you want to do.
Yeah, but they're not the same.
Sure. But
like, the way I'm kind of seeing it is that, there's two in hip hop. There were two queen bees,
Foxy and Kim.
Lil Kim, because she always calls herself "Want to Rumble with the Bee," and then I guess you can kind of say Beyonce because she's, because she got the beehive and stuff.
Okay,
but they're not the same.
Yeah,
like they're not the same energy at all.
That's true. That's actually a good point.
That's the way I'm kind of.
Beyonce is like Hot Girl Summer. Lil Kim is like Brat Summer.
All right.
Get it? It's just a very different vibe.
I get what you're saying. At the end of the day, though, both bad bitches who tell people do what you want. That's my thing.
Sure.
But one's a little bit more.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. One might tell you run for government, and one might tell you burn the government, but do what you want to do. Is ultimately
at the end of the day, it's supposed to be like an empowering woman type of
that's
movement.
the thing.
But it is still a different energy, a different vibe. And also, like, Brat Girl Summer also, like, the song Nasty by Tinashe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's another song that's been very popular and it's been circulating a lot. It's a similar vibe to Brat Summer, where it's like, I'm nasty, I'm a bad girl. Like, it's that type of.
That's so.
It's not like I'm confident and I'm beautiful. It's like, no,
I can nail it, Brian.
Just a reminder, those are not the lyrics for Hot Girl Summer, by the way.
I can nail it. I can nail it for you.
No, I do get it.
No. I got a good one. I got a good one.
Okay.
One is pre Roe v. Wade. The other was post Roe v. Wade.
Oh God. Lord have mercy. I only say because if anyone wants to look up the lyrics to Hot Girl Summer and tell me,
but it has nothing to do with the lyrics.
I don't understand.
I think it turned because I think it turned.
The song is about the.
Brian, I didn't even know that it was because of Megan Thee Stallion. It just turned into a movement.
Oh, yeah.
It turned into a movement on social media about just being like not hot caring. Girl. Yeah. Just being a hot girl and not giving a shit. But Brat Summer is like, let's stir the pot.
Oh, you found an article? I'm sure there's 100 articles about Hot Girl Summer versus Brat Summer. Because they're
this is not relative.
No, that's the funny part. Like, I'm sure the videos I saw of people talking about Brat Summer and everything I've understood of Hot Girl Summer, I was just like, all right, this seems in the same energy, the same vein.
Yeah, it's the same energy.
Like, it's summer and we need an excuse to be out in these streets and doing what we want to do. So we're going to call it Hot Girl Summer. We're going to call it, what was the other one? There's Brat Summer, Hot Girl Summer. What was the theme? There was one theme 2 years ago in 2021. I can't remember the name now. And then there was people making fun of Taylor for having whatever summer she had.
Brat Summer is almost an evolution of Hot Girl Summer.
Oh.
And then it continues on. The movement has aimed to inspire every girl, woman, human to be the best and most happy version of themselves, body confident and body positive with healthy boundaries, but with an undercut of bright and bold and confident aesthetic.
That's all I'm saying. From a marketing perspective, because that's the thing. Ness,
we're looking into it too much.
Again, I think if we're talking about it this hard, we're old. It's not for us, and we old. That's it.
I get that.
I've accepted that.
But
bring me my walking cane.
As they do in The Merchants of Cool, it's a great documentary. I highly recommend people go look it up. PBS back in the day. That entire documentary is about the commodification of moments or styles. And if you have something like Hot Girl Summer and you have something like Brat Summer, as you've seen, especially in this year where there's an election, Brat Girl Summer got co-opted by the DNC with the Toot Suite. They did it quick. And Kamala
didn't
is
Megan do a show? Didn't she pop up?
Exactly. Both Megan and Charlie XCX have both done promo stuff for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
That whole energy of that commodification of the summer vibe to promote the person running for president, to me, just looks like a way of marketing a product. So whether or not people feel that way about stuff, I'm just saying I'm looking. Hey, I'm the guy.
Everything's here to be marketed to us.
Exactly. That's all.
Let's not fool ourselves.
Everything
here.
is.
I remember.
But that's literally everything.
I remember
that's not a secret.
I remember I was in an argument with a friend like years ago, and he said something to the extent of Transformers, that's for girls. And I was like, hold up, buddy. So you're telling me Transformers for girls? Are you sure you want to die on that hill? And he's like, nope. I'm like, nope. Too bad. You dragged me into this conversation. Isn't your favorite show right now? He's like, please stop. I'm like, isn't your favorite show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, which is a show that was literally made for little girls? So
your friend was a brony. Bronies run the world. Everything that is happening in the world is secretly because the bronies are trying to take over. Don't let them trick you.
So I mean, just everything's here to be marketed to us. Like, let's not fool ourselves.
Facts. And on that note, guys, we're here to market ourselves. Check out GeekCypha, GeekCypha. Check out our website. Check out all our content. This is the whole crew. Well, not the whole crew. Two of us are here. Skinny and Dave will be back soon. Dave, shout outs to him. He's going through a lot with his new place, and we're really excited for him. We look forward to being able to do an episode, he said, next summer by the pool. So we're very excited for that one. And then Skinny's out there being a dad. He's he's doing dad things. So we want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back with another one next week. Anything you guys want to tell the people?
Check out Transformer Slag and the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
Bong. And also, don't forget to check out The Dumbest Timeline. Episodes 4 and 5 are all done, edited, mixed. Slack of the Beat Child, it's a two-parter. We talk about AI in music and AI as it pertains to just life. So those drop on the 16th and on the 23rd, respectively. You can also check those out at Brian Holiday, HOLIDAE.com. Guys, that's the whole show. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back with another one soon. Peace, y'all.
Peace.